Very simple question to more people. Is Andrew Holness a good Prime Minister? Get this video to 1,000 likes, more people. Subscribe to the channel. It's Protection Fridays. The US is not done. Listen to this.
Cuban doctors in Jamaica. Let us be clear. The Cuban doctors in Jamaica have been incredibly helpful to us. Jamaica has a deficit in health personnel, primarily because many of our health personnel have migrated to other countries. We are, however, very careful not to exploit the Cuban doctors who are here. We ensure that they are treated within our Labor Day program by others. Certainly would not be applicable to Jamaica. We are ensuring that our program complies with all the international laws and standards to which we are a party to.
This is not about doctors. This is not about the provision of medical assistance. We have no problem with medical assistance. We have no problem with doctors. We have a problem, and I'm not speaking about Jamaica. We've discussed this today about, following international labor standards and the like, but I'm just talking about this program in general, how it's operated around the world. And how it's operated around the world is that basically the doctors are not paid. In many other parts of the world, the doctors are not paid. The doctor, you pay the Cuban government. The Cuban government decides how much of anything to give them. They take away their passports. They basically operate as forced labor in many places. Now, there are places that have better labor standards. Perhaps Jamaica is one of those, and that's fine. But I'm describing generally what the program has been. It has operated in that way in many parts of the world and placed these people in tremendous danger. And so I think we can all agree that the trafficking in labor, be they doctors or farm workers, is not something that we would want to be supportive of, and we find that to be an egregious practice on the part of the Cuban regime. Now, every country operates their program differently. And obviously, because of our relationship with Jamaica, we're going to engage with them on that and talk about it further and have a better understanding. Perhaps none of this applies in the way it's handled here. But generally, that's the problem with the program. It's not that they're Cuban doctors. It's that the regime does not pay these doctors, takes away their passports, and basically it is, in many ways, forced labor. And that we cannot be in support of. Again, not speaking about here in particular, but in general.
Alright, so I'm not going to waste no more on the time. Everybody comment and tell me, is Prime Minister Andrew Holness a good Prime Minister? Is Andrew Holness a good Prime Minister, everybody? That more want to comment and tell me. Simple question and a simple answer. We must can get 200 people comment and tell me if you think him is a good Prime Minister, everybody. Now, everybody a jump up and a celebrate and a say, yes, firm hand by this administration. Yes, Andrew Holness pack up the US and send them. Him decide, say, him pick America and we're going to pick Cuba and celebrate. And I say, yes, firm hands. You know what I mean? Him stand up like a big man. Andrew Holness stand up to Marco Rubio and this and that. No. Do not be delusional. You just hear Marco Rubio said maybe. There was so much doubt in that speech that people never did listen to Wagwan. You did hear that him say him go run further checks with Jamaica, right? Even though him say they are like-minded and that Jamaica maybe has, the right rules and regulation as it relates to the Cuban medical policy, further checks will be run. It wasn't a stamp, seal, sign and approve and say, yeah, we're going to load Jamaica alone. No. Because, I wonder if you know sense, they will be back. They might go come back. You see what going on with Donald Trump is his way or no way. And they don't care who you are and how like-minded you are. And if your eye them blue and your nose big, they don't care. Donald Trump doesn't care. It's his way or no way. That was the stance. That was the time where he should have stated very clearly that, listen, Cuban doctors and the medical policy, we are good. We don't breach any rules or guidelines, but respectfully know your place. We are good with them. No breaches have been met. We have violated no rules and laws. And we will continue to work with them. The firm stance that was being looked forward wasn't presented. No. They will be back. Donald Trump will be back. And you just hear clearly the secretary say maybe Jamaica. But they are going to run further checks. It wasn't a case where Andrew Holness said this is happening, this is what we are gonna do, and it done this up. They are coming back. And they are making it very clear. Marco Rubio and Donald Trump is having a problem with Cuba and their medical policy. But what is further disturbing is that the lack of transparency from the Prime Minister and this administration. What should have been brought forward were more important things instead of not draw out him chair like a servant for him sign paperwork. No. Let me tell you what should have been done. You, as you outline your problems and issues, because what they're saying clearly is that Cuban medical policy breach are allegedly involved in a certain areas, which includes trafficking. What Prime Minister Andrew Holness should have done was asking for the proof. Show us the paperwork where you can take a plane, come to my country, tell us that this is what the problem is without showing tangible proof. Show us the paperwork. We don't want the talking. Show us the problem that you have that warrants you to leave there and come here to see if we violated anything. Show us your problem on tangible documents and then present it to the media. Instead of you draw out him chair and serve him. Don't it? That's what should have been done. What should have been done is this. Stated quite clearly, and it should have been placed, our emphasis should have been placed, that listen, the Cuban medical policy that you have had a problem with has served Jamaica well. We have had a very good relationship with the Cubans, and that they have done well with Jamaica, and as it relates to the labor force or the workforce between Cuba, we are not in any disagreement or any unlawful practice with them. And we intend to keep it that way. So with all due respect, we are fine. No room is being made for them to come back. You have to know this man, Donald Trump. Anyway, let's get to the article, everybody. Right? Now, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has defended Jamaica's use of Cuban medics to support the local health sector, declaring that there is no exploitation in the program that has surfaced as a blot on the Trump administration radar. They are coming back. Anyway, Holness on Wednesday held bilateral talks with the United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio at the office of the Prime Minister. Said the Cubans, more than 400 of them, support the health sector amid the consistent migration of Jamaicans' healthcare workers. Let us be clear, the Cuban doctors in Jamaica have been incredibly helpful to us, said Holness, who pointed to a deficit in the health sector. Yes, and you should have been very more clearer. Yes, we are not in agreement with the minute expression from what is being said. And this should have been made very clear that, listen, I want you to understand what is going to stop these people, Trump and them, who continues to have problem and fly come to Jamaica, come page Andrew Holness about it. We are going to stop them. It is their way or no way. That is what I'm telling you. And the mere fact that this happened, they're going to come back. The record should have been set straight that we in our country are very lawful and clear to whatever the guidelines are in running a country, and we govern ourselves. That's all me I say. So, with the little kiss-ass business we're going, them are going to come back. Like-mindedness, come on now, be real. Anyway, We are, however, very careful to not exploit the Cuban doctors in our care. We ensure that they are treated within our labor laws and they benefit like any other worker. So any characterization of the program by others certainly would not be applicable to Jamaica, he asserted. Wow. Drop a like on the video. Share the video, more to come. Don't go away. Protection Fridays continues.